Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and reveal the books up off this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Autism Awareness Month. Now, autism spectrum disorder, as it's also called, is a serious developmental disorder that impairs the ability to communicate and interact. It impacts the nervous system, and the range and severity of symptoms may vary. Common symptoms include difficulty with communication, difficulty with social interactions, obsessive interest, and repetitive behaviors. There are 5 types of autism, and they are Asperger's syndrome, Rett syndrome, childhood disintegrative disorder, Conner syndrome, and pervasive developmental disorder. Now, early recognition, as well as behavioral, educational, and family therapies may reduce symptoms and support development and learning. Now, here in America, there are 200,000 cases per year, which makes it common. Now, autism can be treated, but it cannot be cured. And this is an Autism Awareness Comic Hero tee. And right here on the left sleeve, you have the Autism Speaks ribbon. And then you have 2 handshaking. That one, excuse me, one hand represents the rest of the world, and the other hand represents the world of those living with autism. And that's my hope for this world, because there's a schism or a divide when it comes to folks with autism and folks who don't have autism. I mean, there are folks who don't understand, the behaviors and the behaviors of folks with autism. They pretty much, say horrible things about them. Let me tell you something. First of all, shut that mouth. Second off, folks with autism are a lot more structured and organized than a lot of us are. And it really, really, really makes my blood boil when I learn of this. I mean, there's no sense in this. If there's something that you don't understand, then the last thing you should ever do is prejudge. There's no room for that. But if you would like your very own Autism Awareness Comic Hero tee, you can find them on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $17. And if anyone is watching this and they have autism, or you know someone, or you're a family member of a person, or you relate to a person that has autism, this episode is for y'all. My heart goes out to y'all. And, in my field of work, I've actually provided services for folks with autism. And again, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I have impacted them and their families as well. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on episode 395, I asked, which farm animal is Deadpool afraid of? Well, the correct answer is a cow. And 17 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names are in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Katie Mayo from Spring Hill, Louisiana. So congratulations, Katie. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Superboy question. The Conner Kent Superboy was created with the combined DNA of Superman and which Superman villain? Now, here are the hints. The first hint is that this villain made his debut in Action Comics number 23 in 1940. The second hint, Jesse Eisenberg, Gene Hackman, and Kevin Spacey have all played this villain on the big screen. And then the third and final hint, Michael Rosenbaum, Clancy Brown, John Cryer have all played this character on the small screen, whether it's been by voice or physical. Everyone who answers correctly will be in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. All right, now D'Angelo Ballou from Warren, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features a one-eyed character in the DC universe going up against a one-eyed character in the Marvel universe. Representing DC, we have Starro the Conqueror, and representing Marvel, we have Shuma Gorath. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Starro the Conqueror versus Shuma Gorath. Starro the Conqueror possesses mind control, biofission, size alteration, energy absorption and projection, color shifting, and regeneration. Shuma Gorath is an ancient force of chaos, the immortal, nigh-invincible, and godlike ruler of nearly 100 alternate universes, capable of energy projection, shape-shifting, teleportation, levitation, altering reality, and sympathetic magic. Who will win? Starro, being very impulsive, would unload an almost endless amount of clones against Shuma Gorath. The latter would swat them all away with enough force to kill them. Starro then grows in size in an attempt to envelop Shuma Gorath, but the latter magically shrinks the former to the size of the former's clones. Shuma Gorath then ends the fight by fatally swatting Starro. Shuma Gorath wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, thank you D'Angelo Ballou for that fight. I hope y'all enjoy it, and I'll have another one for next week. Now, you know my rules about the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. If you, and I'm saying this in case you want to make a request. First rule, you have to have at least one comic book or manga character in the fight. The second rule, you can have them fight against another comic book or manga character, a video game character, or a very serious-minded cartoon character like Optimus Prime, Voltron, Lion-O, or anyone like that. Alright, now usually go into the comically speaking segment, but I don't have anything this week, so let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Batman number 122. Fantastic Four number 42. Marauders number 1. She-Hulk number 3. Silver Surfer Rebirth number 3. Strange number 2. Suicide Squad number 14. X-Force number 27. X-Force Annual number 1. And finally, X-Men Red number 1. Alright, that's 10, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 11,282. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and here's a question again for a free tee for episode 398, which is next week's episode. The Conner Kent Superboy was created with the combined DNA of Superman and which Superman villain? Now here are the hints again. The first hint is that this villain made his debut in Action Comics number 23 in 1940. The second hint, Gene Hackman, Kevin Spacey, and Jesse Eisenberg have all played this character on the big screen. And then the third and final hint, John Shea, Michael Rosenbaum, John Cryer, and Clancy Brown have all played this character on the small screen. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Katie Mayo from Spring Hill, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. All right, here's the road ahead for the show. Now, on next week's episode, which is 398, I'm going to raise awareness of oral cancer. Now, oral cancer is a very common cancer that doesn't get talked about very often, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to raise awareness of it. And if you're watching this and you're either a survivor of oral cancer or you're fighting oral cancer, this episode is for y'all. Then on episode 399, I'm raising awareness of child abuse. Now, this month is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and I sadly know someone, a toddler who was a victim of child abuse, and that episode is for their family, and it's also for the family of any other child that has lost that had died as a result of child abuse. Any adult that went through child abuse early in life, or any child that's a survivor of it. If I'm talking about y'all, this episode is for y'all, and that's episode 399. And then the week after that, the 400th episode of the show. Oh my goodness. I thank God every day that I get to do this every week. And I thank God for allowing me to do it as long as I have. I mean, for over 8.5 years. I mean, this all got started on October 2nd, 2013, and the beat goes on, as they say. And I'm going to have a shirt for that. And if y'all have any suggestions for that, please let me know. And then I'm also accepting video greetings for the episode. If y'all want to do a very short video congratulating me, I mean, y'all don't have to, but if y'all want to, y'all more than welcome to do so. Then on episode 401, I'm going to raise awareness of brain cancer. Now, this is something that I started doing a year ago. I personally know a little girl who died of brain cancer back in 2009. I know, and I went to school with her parents. So this episode is for them, and it's also for anyone, boy, girl, man, or woman that is either battling brain cancer, survived brain cancer, or lost their lives to brain cancer. You know, this is what life is all about. It's about helping people. It's about showing love to people. And I have no regrets for doing that, and I will never have any regrets for doing that. I mean, yeah, sure, this show is a the subject matter of this show is comic books and anything within the realm, but if I have the chance to help someone or show love to someone, I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna pull any punches, and I'm not gonna have any regrets. Because one of the most fulfilling things you can ever do is help someone. Oh, and by the way, I hope y'all have a safe Easter weekend. If y'all are traveling, be careful. If y'all are going over to someone's house, be careful, because after all, even though the numbers are down in terms of COVID-19, there are still people that are testing positive for it, and there are still people that are dying from it. And I don't want to have to hear anything about anyone testing positive or dying from it. Just be safe out there. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 398. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.